If you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, I think I should better run, because that's the end before it began. If you wanna, if you wanna, if you wanna save me, that's the better. If you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, if you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, yeah. If you wanna save me, I think I should better run, because that's the end before it began. If you wanna, if you wanna, if you wanna save me, that's the better.
Fading slowly, just our bodies laying side by side, sinking till we're halfway underground. It's not over, pull me closer, don't let go, not now. This emptiness is more than I can bear. Would you leave it all behind? Rewind, rewind. Would you take me back in time to find peace of mind? Would you leave it all behind? 'Cause I can't keep going Would you leave it all behind? Rewind, rewind. Would you take me back in time to find peace of mind? Would you leave it all behind? 'Cause I can't keep going like this. Never catch a grip. Would you leave it all behind? Rewind. Would you leave it all behind? Cause I can't keep going like this. Never catch a grip. Would you leave it all behind? Rewind. Would you leave it all behind?
I heard that you're better now. Hiding out in a seaside town. Always knew what I wanted reflected back to me. A life like mine kept me wondering if you are coming back. And I miss you in the winter with the windows down. A dazzling fire and a tarnished crown. Are you coming back? 'Cause holding on to you is like holding on to smoke. You're drifting through my fingers every time I think I'm getting close. And I go, you know it all. How you wrapped around my mind. You let me fall. 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 Walls I built all tumble down. Barriers of a heart I found. And I want it back. I let you in, kept you company, gave until I couldn't breathe. Do you remember that? 'Cause holding on to you is like holding on to smoke. You're drifting through my fingers every time I think I'm getting close. And I fall. You know it all. How I gave you what I had, I gave it all. But you let me fall. You let me fall. You let me fall. You let me fall. 'Cause holding on to you is like holding on to smoke. You're drifting through my
Ladies and gentlemen, let's try and do this one more time, but for real this time. We are back once again. It was a bit of an anticlimactic Tuesday with the way things went. We'll sort of break that down a little bit, but we're back once again since Storm Surge is back once again, and so am I. Not really Evan here to cast this game for you today, joined on the cast by the lovely Yuji. Welcome back to the show. It's been a bit since you've done a Sword Surge game.
It has been a little bit, but I'm excited to come back. I'm excited to cast for Storm Surge and to watch some good CS.
Well, I'm hoping for some good CS tonight. Like we said, it's going to be Storm Surge coming back, taking on the James Bond boys. So a couple guys with some British spy enthusiasts on their side, I guess, you know.
Yeah, we could see some
Guess-
aim like James
hey.
Bond from their side too. Who knows? Who knows?
You know, I've always been more of a Mission Impossible fan, but I guess
Oh.
I guess James Bond's cool as well. But what's not cool is the fact that this is a very, very, very important game for Storm Surge because a loss tonight might It might. Now, we don't know this for certain because there are factors that go into this, but a loss might eliminate them from playoff contention, or at the very least make it very difficult for them to come back to fight for a playoff spot. So a lot riding on the line for Storm Surge. They're 4-5, and like we said, it was very tough on Tuesday. Unfortunately, tech issues had to result in a forfeit loss, so that is why they sit in this critical position. And yeah, we're just hoping they can find a way to win, because at this point, it's really now or never.
Definitely now or never. And now sitting 4-5, if they don't win this one, they have to rely on other teams losing their games to even have playoff contention, which is not the spot you really want to be in. So I know Storm Surge, they're gonna come in here swinging. They need to win this, and they want to win this bad.
Yeah, and just for clarification, the magic number to get into playoffs, or at least be in a comfortable spot, we're looking at about 8 wins minimum. That seems to be the benchmark for most main teams that do end up qualifying for playoffs. So like we said, you want to make sure you win this one, because you don't want to have to rely on other teams. But at the end of the day, you're probably going to have to run the table from here on out. So an uphill battle, and it all starts with a positive win. And this might be the game to do it, because the James Bond boys, they've been a little inconsistent. The same record as Storm Surge right now, 4-5, coming off of a 13-9 loss on Ancient to Perfect Symphony. So I think, if anything, I think this chip on Storm Surge's shoulder is going to bring them to a win today.
Definitely. And speaking of their match last week, they might need to rely on Flomi a bit more, because by far, I do believe Flomi was the best player, looking absolutely primed on that map of Ancient. Unfortunately, did result in a loss, but still in good form. If the rest of the team has used their time correctly, maybe plan their strats, plan their map vetoes correctly, they'll be able to, perform all together as a team and maybe come out with a win. But we're on Storm Surge.
Yeah, I think that's a good analysis piece right there. Flomi, definitely one of the heavy hitters for this James Bond team. But you also have to shout out the coach, Robbie Reyes, who is one of the ones who find ways to contribute in rounds the most. According to their FACEIT page, almost an 80% impact rate in certain rounds. So that's either like a kill, an assist, some sort of impact. Robbie is making it happen. So that's the guy who really runs the point for the James Bond boys. And if you're Storm Surge, you have to be ready for something like that. And to counter that, I'm looking at Desolation. We talk about him a lot, being the IGL for Storm Surge and the lead opper. It really does come down to how you lead the team, and other guys in support, Konzi and Doyle. We need to see somebody step up tonight and have a big performance, because again, like we said, this is crunch time right now, and teams that end up making it far in runs and go far in playoffs are able to step up when things get tough.
Oh, by far, the greatest teams are made in moments like this. When your entire tournament contention, honestly, is on the line, this is when you need everyone to lock in. You need everyone to play their game to the best of their ability and just win together. This team play is going to be so incredibly important tonight.
No, absolutely. And I think that, it really comes down to the team. And we have seen, so much connectivity from this team lately. We had some really highs with this team, going on a 3-game win streak earlier a couple weeks ago. That was definitely the high point thus far, like we said, of the season. But some rocky roads have followed them since, and they're in this tough spot, and they control their destiny right now. So they are the only ones who can get them out right now. Just make sure you can take care of your business. But like I said, I think this is going to be the game to get them back on track. I do think Storm Surge is going to take this one. Obviously, we can talk a little bit more in depth once we see the map that we're going to be playing tonight. But I think at least right now, I'm riding the Storm Surge train.
I'm inclined to agree and riding the Storm Surge train. Honestly, I do believe that Storm Surge has a bit more quality as opposed to James Bond boys, but as you were talking about, the map dependent, it could go either way. If someone has some funky vetoes, some nice reads on what map is being played and what map they want to float around, then winning that mental game even before the actual game has started could be everything.
Well, I know when you're talking about vetoes, I know a map that is definitely getting it banned out. It's going to be Dust 2. This has been a struggle point for Storm Surge so far. The one time they tried to pick into it, it did not go well. So this is definitely something they're going to want to avoid. And obviously, whenever we talk about maps, we want to shout out our partners over at Counterstrat for giving us all the information for the stream tonight. They have been so helpful in collecting information all this season. So thank you very much to Counterstrat once again for helping us out here. And speaking of those veto picks and Counterstrat, these are two very interesting teams. They almost have the exact opposite veto patterns when you take a look at the way it breaks down. But looking at it, I'm predicting either an Inferno or an Ancient. I think I would rather see Inferno come through for Storm Surge. That's a map they like to play. It's a map they're very confident on. And I think if you want to try and find a way to win tonight, you need something that's a bit more comfortable and you feel like you can dominate on.
Definitely, comfortability could be in a very important factor here, but there could be some dark horses in maps. They could be a train. I was talking about how you need to win that mental game in the map vetoes. There could be some funky bands going on. We could see a train, maybe. We could see, I don't know, Anubis. If it doesn't get banned, it really all depends on how each team practice and how they approach tonight.
Well, it definitely would be something to see, and I'm going to throw out Ancient as another potential pick tonight. That's another pick that both of these teams like. But without further ado, let's get the reveal and see where we're going to be dropping tonight. It is, in fact, Inferno. Okay. I don't think this is a surprise. Again, like we said, this is a map that Storm Surge is very comfortable on. Same level of comfortability for the James Bond boys, maybe not as much as Storm Surge, but definitely a map that I would definitely favor Storm Surge on. And again, it depends on which side we start. I think Inferno definitely can go either way. Sometimes it seems to be a little bit more T-sided. Sometimes it's very CT-sided. It just depends on which type of team is playing and how aggressive they want to be. But I think the way Storm Surge is going to want to play it, they're going to want to be aggressive. They're going to want to take space in Banana very quickly and just make it very, very hard for the James Bond boys to try and retake into these sites.
Definitely. If Storm Surge are able to get those picks through mid, through Banana, or just cut off some of these rotates that James Bond boys want to do, especially on the map Inferno that they are comfortable on, they should be able to, on their T side at least, rack up at like as many rounds as possible. We could be seeing pretty dominant half if they do start T side. CT sided though, I think Storm Surge will do a lot better holding crossfires and trying to hold a little forward from site, not on site necessarily, but just holding their space and keeping it as best as possible. Maybe set up a flash behind you, have a teammate set you up with a flash above you, just doing something so that James Bond boys have to force their way in and they aren't comfortable in their exec.
Exactly, and the other big thing you want to talk about too on the CT side is how good your retakes are going to be. Like we said, this is notoriously a map that's very hard to retake, especially if you've already lost a bunch of people on your side or if the T's have gone relatively flawless in a round. I'm thinking about B, especially if you're holding A, that rotation through CT, notoriously very long and not many entrances to get into these sites. So for Storm Surge, it has to be cleanly executed the entire time, and they have to find ways to create value out of every single round on the defense.
Definitely, they need to create as much value as possible. But I do want to touch on James Bond boys a little bit. I know on their T side, they love to push through apps and mid, love to, kind of death ball their way into the enemy team, which it's not done very often. And if Storm Surge aren't ready for it, haven't done their homework, it'll be rough trying to, adjust to that.
Well, they're going to have to adjust either way because it's now or never for Storm Surge. And when we come back, we're going to get into game.
I've been thinking about you, how your voice shakes when you're lying, make everything about you. just be a smiling. I'd still be here when we're in hard times. Baby, just join in the fun. Running around, might lose my mind. The summer's only begun. I'd still be here when we're in hard times. Baby, just join in the fun. Running around, might lose my mind. The summer's only begun. Summer's only begun. Summer's only begun. Tell me, baby, it's untrue. Up all night just drinking, and I don't know what we'll do as the daylight starts to sink in. I'd still be here when we're in hard times. Baby, just join in the fun. Running around, might lose my mind. The summer's only begun. I'd still be here when we're in hard times. Baby, just join in the fun. Running around, might lose my mind. The summer's only begun. Summer's only begun. Summer's only begun.
Here I go.
Talk to him.
Well, guys, we're back. We're being told that we're just about to get into the game. And like we were saying before we got here, such a critical moment for the Storm Surge team. We will remind everybody that a loss tonight will basically eliminate them from a playoff spot or make them, let's just say, very, very difficult to get into a playoff spot. I think that's sort of a glass half full mentality about the outcome that might happen tonight. But either way, very, very
Yeah.
important game. But again, that shouldn't be the focus tonight. Let's just take care of business tonight. You're on a comfortable map. You know what you need to do. You control your own destiny and just go out and take it. And we were talking during this break, we were sort of analyzing the T side for the James Bond boys. We were really highlighting the importance of the defense that Storm Surge might bring, and let's sort of touch on the offense that the James Bond boys might be bringing to this game.
James Bond boys, they're a team that really favors mid more heavily than others. They favor taking those angles quicker rather than sitting back, which is kind of opposite of what I said that Storm Surge should do on their defense. It could play into James Bond boys' favor, but Storm Surge will just have to adapt and just have to learn as rounds go past and hopefully eke out the win.
Well, adaptability always the name of the game, and good teams find ways to adapt when the going gets tough, and that's what we're going to need to see today out of Storm Surge, and I think they have the chance to do it. I think if we talk about round totals and score, I'm gonna say a 13-6 for Storm Surge. I think if I had to get super specific with it, I think so. That's what I'm gonna call.
13-6 is honestly not a bad shout. I think, especially with how close and comfortable Storm Surge are on this map, I want to say maybe closer to 13-7, 13-8, just because I do believe James Bond boys, they have some shooters. They can play the game.
You have some shooters, and speaking of shooters, we have a couple right in front of us right now. Doing our standard round edition here on True North Studios. So shout out to the players for performing a little ritual for us. Get the James Bond boys to win the knife round, but it doesn't look like things going to change too much besides the fact that they will be starting on the CT side. Storm Surge going to be opting for the T side to start this game, and we talked about how Storm Surge, performs on defense, and we'll see how they run this offense here. Typically, the banana hit is where we like to see them go. You do have some apps and A rushes as well. Pretty standard for an Inferno set, and right now we have sort of a 4-1 split, and that's going to be Kanzi shooting his way up to about middle banana. The rest of the team just holding their own down near the bottom. Or sorry, that's Desolation, who's crept his way up banana, trying to find some intel and lurk up. And meanwhile, the rest of the team trying to make their way through apps. Robbie Reyes is going to be that first line of contact with the double Berettas. And they're just letting Storm Surge take a lot of space here.
This timing that Punisher got is so nice. Might be able to catch one through mid. Unfortunately, does not see him behind the smoke. Close left is not cleared properly as Robbie Reyes picks up 2 for himself, but instantly gets traded by Doyle.
Yeah, those dual Berettas, so dangerous. It seems you always find a way to get some value with them. Doyle going to swap to them. He's going to get this bomb down as well behind the box.
I like this plant spot. Close CT lets the apps player and the danger players still peek and look towards the bomb. Unfortunately, 2 chains with the backstab picks up 2, and they just need to hold mid. Desolation does find 1, but with them sticking the bomb, not too much you can do as WBZ is there with the trade, and that's the first round on the board for Storm Surge. Very well played.
Taking the chicken out as well as WBZ. Man, what did the chicken ever do to you, man?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think Storm Surge did everything right there. I mean, you make the round a little bit more expensive for the James Bond boys by finding another pick near the end there, and you get the bomb down as well, so you're able to bring a hero rifle. It's going to be Doyle picking it up, but besides that, a couple TAC 9s and some MAC 10s, some util as well. Desolation going to be bringing a full utility belt with him in this round.
Oh, yeah.
So a chance to maybe steal this conversion away from the James Bond boys, but this is just going to have to be executed perfectly here, and it looks like we're going to see another apps push potentially coming through from Storm Surge.
Oh, these nades are looking pretty nice. Nearly got some chip damage on them, but Storm Surge just pushing in through apps. We see Robbie Reyes playing on this little close right angle with the Tech 9. Might be able to spray down. One does find it as they were jumping, but instantly is traded out. Now, Stormster is trying to collapse on towards the site as Doyle picks up a nice two-piece, one with the running gun and just straight aim towards Amped. Now as the bomb goes down, 2v4 retake. This is looking pretty impossible.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough retake for the James Bond boys, and I don't even know if you attempt this right here. You have a rifle right now. You might as well keep it. You don't really have a lot of econ built up either. You can still keep some utility as well. So good job from Storm Surge for being able to steal that conversion away from the James Bond boys. That sort of swinging momentum back in their favor. That hero rifle definitely paying off for Doyle.
I like how Kanzi was very unafraid to draw crosshairs, jumping out of apps like that. that takes bravery and hey, instantly traded by your team. Whatever works.
Hey, sometimes you just have to run it down like that. That's just how it can go sometimes. And sometimes it just works, and this is a map where you are going to see a lot of teams being forced into saves, especially when you have a lot of aggressive peaks or pushes like Storm Surge just had. So as long as you can get to the site as quick as possible and take a couple out with you, as long as you're on the T side, you probably will find yourself with a round win. Just need to try and stay the course. Now, what do we think? Are we going to see another Apps push, or are we going to try and shade towards Banana this time?
I do believe we're going to look towards Banana and mid a bit more this round. It seems James Bond boys actually do have the correct read. 3 stacking on this beast site. Just trying to play their crossfires, trying to play together as Storm Surge use all of their mollies and nades, just clearing everything. But look mid. 2 players lurking up by themselves. I like this tempo shift from Storm Surge. Letting your mid players lurk, just trying to get at least a bit of space with these Tech 9s, the weaker weaponry. Make sure you can note out every player on the James Bond boys.
He's going to make his way up near Arch, and he's going to find that first pick. And now Storm Surge are on the move once again. Flash is going out towards the site, smoking off Library to give themselves some space, but you have this player still hanging around near the pit and does get cleared out, but more start to come through. And Robbie Reyes, we said it before, don't sleep on that 5-7. It can definitely make you pay, but definitely... Oh my goodness, I thought Desolation was going to be able to swing on WBZ there. Almost was able to. Now up to Doyle once again. Look at this. Just gets a quick look at WBZ. Has to reload. Going to adjust. It's this do-si-do now. Who's going to come out on top? Doyle on the outside of the Molotov. Going to avoid the flash. Jump up on the box. And not able to finish. WBZ in the clutch. Brings the James Bond boys back in the lead.
Unfortunately, Doyle, with his back turned, isn't able to see the second flash that was thrown by WBZ with a very nice clutch from the Storm Surge from the James Bond boys, which is they needed that. They needed that. Reset the eco, put everyone on a more even playing field. As we look on the side of Storm Surge, their buy, it's not looking the greatest with only 3 rifles in hand. They need to move as more of a unit, maybe. And it looks like they are. 4 men down here towards B. The Molotov is going to slow their push, but James Bond boys are fine with just sitting in sight and playing these crossfires. Might draw some rotates over. It doesn't seem like it. Just playing this cross could be all they need. Smokes now falling from both sides, and another molly is coming through. Unfortunately, James Bond boys are ready for it. That fight did go the way of Storm Surge, as they will be able to get the bomb down, but too much damage is done onto both Desolation and Cubed. Now we need to see some prime aim coming in for the both of them. Flash coming in towards CT. Storm Surge making some presence, but Anti 2 Chainz right there ready for it. Q does pick up 1, but 2 Chainz with the instant trade. Desolation now left on 10 HP. Has to try and find all of these kills, but there is 2 Chainz with the Robbie Reyes right behind him, and that's the 3rd round on the board for the James Bond boys.
Yeah, first time we get to see them attempt a retake, and they passed the test with flying colors. I mean, Storm Surge played it very well, but James Bond boys with the quick rotation and that's an easy call to make. Once you see the CT smoke and the temple smoke as well near Garden, I mean, like, you know what's coming. I mean, this is such a telegraphed execute that all teams know, and the James Bond boys are aware of this, and they're able to make that rotation need be and able to win those gunfights. And I think that has been the difference maker. It seems like the James Bond boys, they're just able to win these gunfights in really scrappy fashion. It's been very messy for them, but they're able to find ways to win. And at the end of the day, as long as you can come out on top of the round, win, who cares how it looks? And right now, it's looking a little dire for Storm Surge, as like you said, that econ getting a bit reset, and nobody really bringing a lot of firepower. Doyle with the hero Deagle, but that's not really a situation you want to be when you're down too early in a game.
Definitely not. Something I really do want to note and touch on. I really love how comfortable James Bond boys are with playing only 2 players towards the B site. It doesn't matter how they're holding the cross, just the fact that they can and they are is more than enough. But util out, Amped is still able to find a pick onto Conzi as WBZ and Flomi find picks for themselves, but Punisher with 1. Fortunately, does fall, leaving Cubed alone in the 1v4 situation. Has to try and push here towards CT. Tap on the bomb is good, but the grenades and everyone in your face, unfortunately, is not what you want. Does pick up 1, but WBZ with the backstab finds that kill.
Yeah, this is slowly snowballing in a way that's very, very concerning if you're on the side of Storm Surge, because that eco has not really recovered from that last round, and no bomb plant as well to give you that extra cash. So it's, yes, you're able to bring a lot here, but another round going the way of the James Bond boys basically sets you to 0 once again. I mean, Cubed already bankrupt right now, and the rest of the team not looking very healthy as well. So very, very critical round after Storm Surge if they want to hope to stay in this contest. We're going to see what they have planned. It's going to be a slow execute down mid. Smoke's going out towards truck.
Oh, Storm Surge.
But this timing, once again, not going to benefit them through the flash. Amped is going to find 1 before getting traded out, and 2 in response for Storm Surge, and they're able to take some space down A long.
That is definitely what you needed in this situation. Only dropping 1 player there in that very, very messy mid-fight, but Robbie Ray is down here, and Pitt does find 2 kills on the Punisher and Doyle. Nearly a 3rd on Desolation, but WBZ is there with the Apt player on the high-low. Good from Storm Surge. Leaving Desolation only down 1 HP. James Bond boys, sorry, Flomi by himself might have a good retake. The flash through the smoke does discombobulate them a bit, but Storm Surge are able to clean up the round, leaving only Cubed, the last remaining soldier.
Hey, they got it done. That's all that matters. And like we said, that was such a big round for the team to just get things back to 0. You know, you let up about 3 in a row. Just need to bring the team back and go back to the basics. Clearly, the banana push B hasn't been working right now. That's the 2nd time you've been able to take A with relative ease. I mean, it's a little messy near the end, but you find a way to get it done. And that's just what you need to do. Just keep getting your business done. Try and stay into it.
I think the
See what they
statement of Storm Surge taking A with even 3 players there towards mid or towards the site is how they want to set the tone for these future rounds. And setting the tone is Cubed indeed, putting Robbie Reyes down to 30 HP. 2 Chainz up here does get gunned down by Conzi as Doyle with flashes right behind him. Tries for the run gun, but Amped is calm and clean with it. Punisher getting the nice trade. Oh, unfortunately, Robbie Reyes down here, and Pitt once again picks up 2. Cubed the trade now, leaving Storm Surge and James Bond boys again in the 2v2. We have played these games before, but WBZ on the flank might catch this timing onto Conzi. Didn't spot him. Smoke is good. Sees his head.
We definitely heard that too.
Oh yeah, definitely heard that.
Conzi's gonna have to be careful. I don't think he knows that WBZ is flanking behind him, and he has his back completely turned. It is going to be a free pick for the James Bond boys. So Cubed left by his lonesome, or maybe not. The pick onto Flomi now. The 1v1. WBZ going to stay on the balcony and win the duel. Does have a kit as well, so this should be an easy defuse for the James Bond boys. Momentum shifting once again. And I think the big thing is that Robbie Reyes has been so impactful. That's the second time in 2 rounds we've seen a big double from his hold in pit, and it doesn't look like Storm Surge has really been able to deal with that.
Yeah, Storm Surge, they need to be a little bit more diligent in clearing out this pit angle. Robbie Reyes has played notably 2 separate angles from pit and still picked up 2 kills for himself, which is kind of insane. Yes, Storm Surge did molly pit, but Robbie just had to reposition a little bit, and the angle just wasn't fully cleared.
This could get a little dangerous now as
wow.
Storm Surge is getting very aggressive through the molly. Doyle trying to get things started for the team. More mollies coming out, going to delay this initial push, but the smoke can extinguish a little bit, so maybe trying to bait out a potential player are the James Bond boys, but Storm Surge waiting for the reinforcements to show up. And you take a look at who's on the defense. It's going to be Flomi and WBZ, the main holders, and Amped coming through CT. Does have the scout, so definitely something to keep an eye on. Not a full off yet, but it's going to be Flomi and WBZ making the big impact right now, and a flawless round for the James Bond boys, looking straight out of GoldenEye, and definitely starting to get a little dire now for Storm Surge.
Getting a little dire indeed. I like how James Bond boys stuck to their guns and still kept 2 players on, with one coming through mid with a slight rotate. Not fully, not calling over your entire team and panicking, but staying very calm in those situations is definitely what you need. Storm Surge, they need to reassess. They need to reevaluate how they want to approach this eco, especially just getting as many guns down as possible is what you need to happen. One tag onto the scout by Amped as he finds Doyle's head immediately afterwards. Another little tag onto Q, just jumping around a little bit, put down to a very peculiar amount of HP.
I don't know if I've ever seen anybody spray and pray hip fire with a scout before. That's definitely not something different. You see every day, but hey, it works out, and clearly it's working out for 2 Chains as he finds a double for himself and puts the James Bond boys in another very comfortable position. You do have bomb control still, and Desolation and Cube are going to try and make their way up Banana, but no util to work with. You have nothing to smoke off CT. They're just walking into a blender right now.
Oh yeah, Flomi and WBZ, they're such a tried and tested duo, holding onto this B site completely by themselves more often than not. They're looking clean on.
They have looked very, very strong thus far, and again, like we said, the way this has been going right now, the last 2 rounds have been flawless for the James Bond boys, and there's just not really much to say for the side of Storm Surge. It's just a couple failed pushes. I mean, it all gets started with that Amped pick right off the rip. When you find yourself down early, especially on Inferno, you're definitely not doing yourself any favors. Storm Surge, you need to try and find something. I think at least salvaging this half, getting it to 7-5 puts you back in the game, but a couple more losses and this is really going to be tough to try and come back, and especially with your playoff lives on the line, definitely need to try and find something, and you need it now.
Oh, yeah, they need it now. And look at James Bond boys kind of change their hold and set up a little bit, but through the smoke, Amp does find one to Doyle. It's a nice instant trade. 2 more players from the side of James Bond boys. Robbie Reyes, again, finding 2 by himself in pit, leaving us in another 2v2 here on A.
And this isn't terrible. I mean, you have util as well. You have some mollies, some smokes. You have everything to work with potentially. So you are able to delay this potential retake if you want. Oh no, that chicken's got to move. He is about to be demolished in about 25 seconds. It's going to be Q taking up the spot in pit, and like you said, WBZ creeping his way up. I think he knows that somebody's in pit, but not able to clear it out as Khan's going to finish it off, and that is going to be Storm Surge taking the round. They stop the bleeding a little bit, but still a lot of work to be done.
Very, very big round for the side of Storm Surge. They definitely needed to win that, seeing as it was James Bond boys' first time buying the operator in this half. Yes, they are able to buy it once more, but it was a must-win for sure. Unfortunately, Storm Surge not able to pick up the op. Maybe trying to stick towards a faster round approach this time. Who knows? But still, very good round.
Well, James Bond boys are going to be bringing the op back as well. It's going to be Flomi picking it up. And that definitely is going to be something you want to keep your eye on. But you do already have him at 40 HP, so that also something to keep in mind. 2 Chainz, the same spot, the same result. And a resounding double turns this round on its head.
Yeah, 2 Chainz, no matter if he's blinded or not, is still able to find those 2 picks. But Konzi responds right back with 2 of his own. 2 Chainz in CT, just has to force the grenade, trying to take as much space as possible. This timing was nearly terrible, but Cubed is right there watching his teammates back. Now this is an opportune time for Storm Surge to win this round. Flomi down to 32 HP and WBZ a little late to the party on the flank, but here's Cubed watching it, holding, being very, very patient with their play. I like this from the side of Storm Surge. That timing was so barely not on Storm Surge's favor, but it seems like James Bond boys are opting to save and buy their teammates in this next round, seeing as their money is not the greatest.
Yeah, I like this. I like this call here. You save op. It's going to be last round before half as well. You might as well just try and bring as much firepower as you can into the next round. Not just that, you have a couple pieces of utility as well they're going to be bringing over. So a lot of value still kept for the side of James Bond boys. And my goodness, look at WBZ, 15 kills.
Oh, wow.
And we're still in the first half. I mean, we're talking about a legacy game for WBZ so far. Robbie Reyes
15
12
and 3. Wow.
with 12. I mean, this has been a very, very impressive performance from these heavy hitters on the side of the James Bond boys. And gotta shout out 2 Chainz as well.
Oh, yeah.
Like we said, that's the same time he's able to take out 2 players in top mid.
Everyone on the James Bond boy side, they're absolutely frying. They are playing their game, and they're playing it so well. Setting up Flomi once again here towards mid, but it seems Storm Surge are trying to go for a little bit of a fast beat pop. Doyle tanking that molly by himself, is put down to half HP, but is able to find, Punisher. That was a very, very well-timed grenade. WBZ, this reposition could be everything. Forced to re-smoke. Yeah, absolutely Neo Matrix dodging all of these bullets, somehow isn't hit by a single one. He's able to remolly, and now Storm Surge, they have to kind of play back, reassess this round. 5v3, yes, but you don't want to be walking into a trap.
Well, the longer that this goes on, the more it benefits the James Bond boys, because Storm Surge, all this util they have to expend, and oh my, this molly that WBZ throws out going to be extinguished by the CT smoke. And the rotation now coming through is only 1 member left for Storm Surge up, but Robbie Reyes continuing to fry in the pit. Might stall out this switch onto A. That's bombed down as well. Robbie Reyes can't get the hot swap, but damage has been done. Space created. WBZ on the outside looking in.
Now, in the 2v1, WBZ has a very real chance at winning this. Look at Punisher down to 19 HP and Konzi 45 respectively. These have to play together, play their strengths. WBZ, he's such an impossible situation. Has to clear everything.
This might not.
Oh, this tap is good.
Oh, this might not work out for them.
Oh no, this timing should be nice from Konzi. Yes, and it is. Oh, that was close.
That was dicey. That was a very gutsy call to rotate back apartments. I mean, you had to figure that WBZ had the diffuser, and I mean he's had the hot hand as well. That's a bold move to challenge the top fragger in the lobby in that end. But like we said, this is the best case scenario. You gave up 7 in the first half. You're able to claw your way back. You win pistol, you take conversion, you find yourself tied once again. So big now, especially when you find yourself on the CT side, which so far has been dominating this game.
Yeah.
Just have to make sure that you shut WBZ down and try and take a page out of the James Bond boys playbook and just lock this defense down.
This first round timeout from the James Bond boys is kind of unorthodox, but I honestly respect it. I like that they're talking with their coach. They're making sure that they know how they want to play this T side, and use their lead to their advantage as much as possible. This pistol is absolutely everything for Storm Surge, and if James Bond boys are able to win it with 2 more timeouts in their back pocket, they want to snowball this as much as humanly possible.
And this timeout going to be
A little bit of a
extended just
tech.
a little longer. Seems like we are having some tech issues potentially, so we'll stand by and wait. But again, like we were saying, I think this is the best case scenario for Storm Surge. They've definitely found some life after a very rocky start. Not the first time we've seen a slow start followed by a much stronger second half. They just have to make sure they can keep that going. And this knife from WBZ, what do you think of that?
Hey, I like that. The little butterfly knife. I honestly like most butterfly knives in CS, but the green ones especially, oh, they look so clean.
What do we think estimated cost?
Estimated cost? Oh, I want to say a cool 300-400 CAD. I want to say.
That's probably somewhat accurate. I don't know if we can have somebody on the prod team do a quick search while we're waiting.
That would be nice. I'm seeing some nice gloves on both sides,
yeah.
honestly.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Evan, you know a thing or two about gloves, don't you?
Hey, I mean, the one time I decide to open a case and pull a crimson web, I mean,
insane.
I'll take it. I mean, hey, Prod is kind of flaming me, but to be fair, I was not the one who brought it up.
Yeah, you weren't, and you gotta flex that till the end of time. Honestly,
hey, you never know. That value fluctuates. You never know what might happen with the CS economy, and who knows what's going to happen in this round of CS, because we are back after the tech problems have concluded. The James Bond boys find themselves on the attack now. Cubed, oh, he did get a look. This timing, one tap from Cubed, and another one from Punisher, going to slow this push right down.
Now, this is exactly how Storm Surge want to start this half. The fast swing towards CT. Desolation left alone. Too many targets in his face. Unfortunately, is not able to find one as 2 chains. Does pick up a much-needed kill for the side of James Bond boys. And now Storm Surge need to try and start this retake, but it can't start if Robbie Reyes is getting that one tap towards Doyle and Punisher. Flomi, Robbie Reyes, they just saved this round for the side of James Bond boys with just sheer gunplay.
Yeah, that's literally all it is, just brute forcing your way through, and unfortunately losing Desolation there on top of CT, that does sort of lead to the space being taken for the James Bond boys, and Storm Surge not able to clear out sandbags, and we find ourselves back behind. Another timeout coming through with the side of JBB. So another critical round coming through for both sides. The conversion definitely favoring James Bond boys. 2 rifles on their side, lots of utility, a couple MAC-10s.
We nearly saw a
Storm
scout
Surge
by as well, which honestly would not have been bad. I think the scout could have done quite a bit of damage. But it seems James Bond boys, they're trying to opt towards a more run and gun play style, which, hey, in my opinion, a bit funnier.
Is that Desolation with the C75?
Wow.
My goodness.
Oh wow.
We're definitely trying some interesting things tonight. Hey, if it works, hey, just don't see that too often. But again, like I said, whatever works for you. I mean, he is going to have the most utility for the side of Storm Surge. These mollies going to be critical in trying to delay these pushes. That's really all you have right now, is just trying to play patient and try and find picks where you can. And like we said earlier, it doesn't matter if the round is messy as long as you find yourself on the other side of it.
Oh yeah, everyone in this round just playing so incredibly slow, poking and prodding, just trying to find any bit of information as humanly possible. The 3-man hold mid might be good. Fortunately, no peek does come the way of Storm Surge. Amped does spot out 1, nearly finds 2, but the 4 of the Storm Surge players in mid, this rundown is good, as Amps does fall 2 chains, answers back instantly with the trade, but Robbie Reyes does not come out of it unscathed, put down to 47 HP. This flank from Kanzi. could honestly be
Conzi,
everything.
1 HP.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey, I mean, he's still kicking. He can still do
Guys,
something.
he's still kicking. Konzi is nearly had the perfect timing on the flank, but it seems James Bond boys are opting to go towards this B site right into the 3-stack once again. Now Punisher does find one, flashing comes through, but Flomi, no matter what, is there to find that pick. Cubed does find one for himself onto 2 chains. Another one in CT. Now Flomi down to 15 HP. This is so winnable for the side of Storm Surge. Yes, you're all very low, but Flomi is forced to push into all of you.
Ooh.
The flash is good, but the run and gun is better for the side of Punisher, and that is a round Storm Surge needed.
The second time they've stolen the conversion away from the James Bond boys, and shout out to Q, man. I've said it so many times. You cannot sleep on the 5-7.
Hey.
It absolutely can create some value and surprise you, and it definitely came through in the clutch for Storm Surge right here. But look at Flomi, man, just running it down and no fear.
Yeah, that's what you have to do in that situation, especially when you know everyone is such low HP. You just need to run it. But for the side of James Bond boys, now they're finally on the back foot in the second half. This is Storm Surge's opportunity to try pick up this 7th round for them. Clearing all their angles, trying to work up towards apps as much as possible. Cubed, the lone peeker / jiggler here on A, but the brunt of Storm Surge are also towards the A site. James Bond boys, no information given to them, as Amt is forced to clear everything with his body. No util behind him. That molly is very well timed. A little bit of a skirmish is happening towards A and middle respectively. Desolation does pick up 2, and Flomi is left down to 13 HP. Amt still on this lurk. One teammate behind you. You just have to try and take. Footstep is heard for the side of Storm Surge. Flash turning. That was very nice set play from the side of Doyle and Punisher. And once again, Doyle picking up 2 kills, leaving Flomi in the 1v5 situation. Honestly, so impossible considering the gun difference. I really like that set play on the 2 players on B, though.
I think at this point, if you're Flomi, you just have to hope that Storm Surge gets a little overzealous and they try and hunt for this final pick and go for the flawless. It's like you said, this is basically an unwinnable situation, and you're really not going to be able to try and steal a rifle as well because there's just nothing. You didn't bring anything into this round, and he's going to fall, so we can nix that line of conversation. Storm Surge go flawless. They find themselves down 1 and have slowly started to claw their way back into this game.
Oh, yeah. And you were talking about how CT-sided this map is at the half. I honestly didn't believe you, but Storm Surge are doing a very, very good job at holding. Kind of different from how James Bond boys were holding during their CT half, but it's working in their favor.
We'll still have a lot of work to do. It's not over yet, but definitely a good chance to go for the tie. But again, you just can't afford to make any stupid plays and give the James Bond boys a chance to get back in, because despite the fact that everybody is set on pistols, we do have some shooters on this side, but you lose one of them to the molly, and once again, the FAMAS just absolutely spraying it down. Cubed, my goodness. A big swing from Storm Surge, and now we are tied.
What an ace from Cubed. That is how you put a statement into a tying round. Acing for your team and putting so much money in the bank. A lot of room to play with for the side of Storm Surge, but they cannot get overconfident. I really love how calm and patient they are playing. They're not taking too much, and they're not giving too much at the exact same time.
Shout out to Cube, man.
Shout out Cubed.
Man, so inspirational to watch him play, and we hope to see more big plays like that because, like we said, that momentum seems to have shifted a little bit. Oh, Punisher, that is a ego swing right there, and he wins it. Robbie Ray is down for the count. Amped left by his lonesome in Banana.
Yeah, taking down James Bond boy's big shooter there. It's definitely how you want to open up this round if you are Storm Surge. Now, everyone just playing patient, playing time. Flomi is going to hear that jump up, but the flash through mid is very nice as 2 Chainz is able to get that pick onto Desolation. Flomi nearly finds Cubed, but that from Moss on the side of Cubed, hey, he aced it last round. We know he's good for it.
And it's this pit position. I mean, we saw how effective it was for the James Bond boys, and Storm Surge making good use of it as well, but this execute is coming fast and furious. Cube behind the truck, not good for another one, as Amp's going to find it whilst flashed. Kanzi getting shot out as well, so A site completely wide open. Storm Surge, what's going to be asked of you now to take this retake? And with losing Doyle now, Punisher in the 1v3, not impossible. He's just going to have to save it.
Yeah, this is honestly a very smart save here. Just trying to not put as much money in the side of James Bond Boy's pockets. Plus, your team will be able to get that operator online.
How much money does he have? How much money does Punisher have?
6,700 credits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good amount of money. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like you said, it's a good save, and you can at least go next in this case. But what we said, sometimes on Inferno, it's just impossible to retake given the situation.
Oh yeah, when you lose as many players as you did on the side of Storm Surge, and when one gets backstabbed through mid, it's a very tight situation. But I was talking about it. There's the operator coming in from Desolation. And now this is about the 3rd time we've seen an operator in this game entirely, but we could be seeing the first pick an operator gets. We only saw, on the side of snipers at least, we only saw the scout get 1 through mid on James Bond Boys' CT half. But now, with as much money as Storm Surge have, this operator is looking very, very nice and primed. Desolation now down here has so much space towards the A site. Holding such a tight pixel, yes, but we know he is good for it, as he does in fact find Flomi. Amped answers back instantly on the other side, finding 2 picks for himself. Cubed, unfortunately, does push through, not clearing his angles correctly. 2v2 once again. Everyone is just falling on either side of the map. Now it's just a matter of who has the correct read, and it seems Desolation does have the read. Spots 1, and they know that James Bond Boys are headed towards the B site, but here's Kanzi just trying to get in a little early, trying to get ahead of the narrative. Unfortunately, is smoked out. The incorrect timing, trying to get one through the smoke. Unfortunately, Amped is there, now leaving Desolation alone in the 1v2, B-hopping everywhere. A lot of util in his back pocket. Is able to spot out both, but Amped and Robbie Reyes' hold is just too strong, as Amp picks up 4 for himself on that round.
Yeah, it's just really bad timing for
Yeah.
Storm Surge there. I mean, I like the play that you had set up. You try and get a little closer to the planter, but I think from the position where you were, I think you were able to get a little bit of a pixel peek potentially on the diffuser, or on the planter, I should say,
Yeah.
but just trying to get as safe as you can for that pick. And Storm Surge, they pay for it and now have to use another timeout. And put a replay of this. First time we really see Desolation using the op in this round. He does find something for it, is going to buy into it again, but very expensive investment for Storm Surge, and you find yourselves down 2. If you drop this one, you're looking at another eco coming up, and with James Bond Boys in double digits, a double timeout, actually. So we're just going band for band with timeouts right now. So I guess we'll get a little bit more time to discuss this. I mean, this definitely feels like the most critical round of the game so far, because like we said, an eco being forced potentially for Storm Surge next round with this late in the game, you really can't afford to have that happen.
Yeah, Storm Surge, they need to find an answer to James Bond Boys T's side. They had it going into this half, but it seems James Bond Boys have used their timeouts correctly and effectively. No more in their back pocket, yes, but they were able to pick up those 2 rounds or 3 rounds, sorry, now putting them closer and closer towards the map and match point. James Bond Boys looking primed, but with only 3 rifles in their hands. Storm Surge, they need to stick to their guns, hold their positions, and should be able to hold on to something, but something is indeed happening towards the B site, instantly setting up this high-low. I like the proactivity from the side of Storm Surge. So many flashes coming through as Doyle is able to find one, instantly traded out by Amped. Now Punisher here sitting in CT just has to sit and wait for his teammates. This retake is so hard for Storm Surge.
Yeah, you called that right. Unfortunately, a lot of pressure on Doyle there to be good for at least 2, I think, in that boosted position. Only finding 1 makes this retake so much harder, like you said. And yeah, 3 flashes left up for the James Bond boys as well, so they're not afraid to get aggressive, and that's what they've done. But look at this. Cube good for 3. 1 being blinded, so a big swing in the favor of Storm Surge. They're going to go for this defuse. Flowmy going to flash in and does get the diffuser Kanzi through the smoke. Going to try and spray Punisher as well.
Goodness.
2 diffusers for Storm Surge going down back to back, and a third as well. My goodness, Flowmy single-handedly saving the James Bond boys with heroic plays. My goodness.
The spray down from Flowmy. It's like he can see them through the smoke. Can we
Mods,
get
check
a
his
back
PC
check on
right now.
that? Mods, check his PC. Because Flowmy just brought James Bond boys out from such an impossible situation. A 1v3 and all you do is spray through a smoke and find all of them? That is insanity.
I hate to say it. I really do hate to say it, but I think that might have been the dagger right there. Unless I am proven wrong. But, I mean, this is just absurdity right there. I mean, at that point, what can you do? Like, there's just nothing you're able to do. I mean, 3 times your diffuser, and again, that's with kits, mind you, so the margin of error is so slim for that to happen, and 3 times in a row. Just absolute insanity.
Oh, it's so unfortunate for the side of Storm Surge. Cubed going so huge with those 3 picks. Unfortunately, the round is not able to be converted. And now put on an eco once again, Storm Surge. They need to try and get busy somewhere. But James Bond boys seem to have the correct read. Onto Storm Surge, smokes, flashes, everything coming in. Doyle is able to pick up 2 for himself. Now putting Storm Surge in a pretty favorable position. The wide swing is unfortunately not in their favor as Robbie Reyes and Flowmy find 2 picks of their own. But look, here's Desolation on the flank. Is it going to be checked? Unfortunately, it is from the side of Flowmy. Util out, can't do too much. Amped is forced to swing out and trade instantly. Kanzi, the double flank from Storm Surge. Wow.
With the Meg 7 and a Dream, Kanzi creeping his way up. One shot doesn't connect. James Bond boys find themselves at match point. A scrappy T-side has led to this. Last chance for Storm Surge to keep their playoff hopes alive. You have to run the table to get to the playoffs. You have to run the table to get to overtime. I don't want to say it's asking a lot, but that was the moment right there. You really needed that shot to connect.
Yeah.
Not meant to be, unfortunately. And down to their last legs. What do you have, Storm Surge?
Storm Surge, they indeed have something. Fast push through mid. Flowmy with the op does get half blinded as Punisher does pick up 1 for himself. Trades coming in everywhere from every side of the team. Flowmy is forced to tuck in towards spawn. Now they do note that operator is there, but are they looking behind them? Do they know about WBZ? WBZ does find 1 as Punisher gets an instant trade. Now Punisher peeking again.
Ooh.
Does get a few tags onto Flowmy. Now 2v2.
Very bold to peek that opper.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like that decision. I mean, he's able to get out, but if you mess up that swing, I mean, it's over right there.
Yeah. I honestly, I like the confidence, especially if you're put in this situation as Storm Surge is in. You need that type of confidence to try and rally the troops, per se, and bring them back. Now Storm Surge forced to 1v1 on both sides, on both sites. Hearing this utility go out, Cubed is going to be calling over Punisher, just trying to get them there as soon as possible. As Bomb is going to be planted. The molly is nearly really good, putting Flomi down to 8 HP. Just looking at HP, this is very winnable for the side of Storm Surge. Not too much, not any util, sorry, in their back pocket. But going against the op does not matter for a player like Punisher, as he finds the wall bang one tap onto him. Amped in the 1v2, the spray nearly there, but cubed with the instant trade onto Punisher. And that is the 9th round on the board for Storm Surge.
Slowly but surely finding their way back in, and big play from Cube to get it done. Amped, like you said, not able to find the spray transfer, and Cube able to save the op as well, so back in Desolation's hands. And now a weird buy gonna have to come through from the James Bond boys. So if Storm Surge can find another win here, comeback season definitely not out of the realm of possibility.
Definitely not impossible.
I think at this point, like, it's just you just start with one, and you just have to make sure this is a very clean round. Not a good start as more blood being shed. 3v3 now. Blink and you miss it. Doyle gonna steal that rifle. Get out of there. Gonna get a look at WBZ's shoulders. He is gonna try and challenge this.
Oh, the backstab through main. James Bond boys, they are being so proactive with their reclears. Cubed now down towards mid. Does note where WBZ is and does find the pick. Now left in a 2v2 situation. Nice. Doyle down through sewers. Gets that pick onto Flomi. Now Amped left alone in the 1v2. Does Doyle know? Is he looking? No! Now this 1v1 is everything. Tournament lives on the line for Storm Surge. Cubed, the last man standing. Amped has been looking very nice this previous map, but Cubed himself going 24-14. Hey, what can you ask? Now 10-12. Storm Surge, they are in it to win it.
If there's anybody who's going to pull Storm Surge out of the gutter, it's Cubed. I mean, I said it earlier, he's having a stellar game for Storm Surge, absolutely leading the way right now, and like we said, you know, getting this win is going to create a very weird situation for the James Bond boys. I mean, you have Amped who can definitely buy into this round. You can get a hero rifle for your side, and now the econ for Storm Surge looking a little bit better, so you're going to have utility, you're going to have some rifles as well, and the most important thing you have now is your confidence back, because I think that was something we saw lost a little bit after losing a couple of those rounds, but now Storm Surge, they found that dog in them once again. You know, you still have some time to get it done. You still have work to do, but overtime, definitely not an impossibility.
Now, I did see a little bit of a scout buy from the side of James Bond boys, but they opted to not buy it. Now, hearing all these footsteps, Storm Surge now falling back towards the site. Doyle once again on this angle. He's very tried and true. Does find 1, 2, 3 with the flash from Punisher, as Desolation and Punisher are right there, right behind him with a very nice cleanup, only dropping 2 bodies. Now, with the money advantage, might be able to buy an operator once more. Storm Surge, they are on the verge of overtime. And James Bond boys, they need to try and find something, try and find that magic that they had earlier during their T side. But Storm Surge is putting a pin in everything they want to do, whether it be mid, whether it be A, whether it be B. They just find those picks right when they need them, right when James Bond boys' backs are turned. Let's see if it'll happen once more. 2 players now down towards mid for the side of Storm Surge, but James Bond boys opting to take a bit more space towards the A site, just spamming through that B main smoke. Not too much util is being thrown as 2 Chains is able to spot out 1. Some warning shots being fired, but Donnie and Doyle are there. Now WBZ down through apartments.
What was Amp doing? What was he looking at?
I have
no idea what Amp was doing, but I mean, Storm Surge is going to take this free pick, and it's the 2 big shooters now of WBZ and Robbie Reyes who are left in the fight. Space and Apps going to be taking Conte hanging out in the pit, Cubed as well. Going to be watching this balcony, but not biting as WBZ, as more utility getting thrown straight at his face. And this is a very, very tough situation for the James Bond boys now. Haven't called the rotation yet. Still trying to creep their way through. Maybe try and find a couple Storm Surge players caught asleep at the wheel. That smoke going to give them some cover to rotate back near short.
Oh, Storm Surge, they have a lock on everything. It seems like they just know where they are, but WBZ does know where Cube's head is. Now, do they clear out Kanzi down here towards pit? There's looking at it. They hear the footsteps. Kanzi does swing, but being held, WBZ is the answer. Unfortunately, Kanzi finds an answer for himself. Get the nice two-piece spray transfer. That's overtime for Storm Surge.
And they are feeling it. I mean, they're shooting bodies as well because they know that they won this. Well, not won it yet, but they clawed their way back in and definitely getting a little emotional as well. I saw Kanzi just absolutely stop moving, and I can imagine him just getting up from the keyboard and getting excited. And why shouldn't you be? You had a fantastic round, 4 picks for yourself, and you find yourselves in overtime with a chance to steal a win away from the James Bond boys. And what a performance it's been. I mean, we almost consider them down and out, I think, from what we saw earlier, and they just did not stop fighting.
Yeah, and that's exactly the kind of determination and grit you'd expect from the Storm Surge team. They have fought through so much, and with their tournament lives on the line, they need this win so hard, and Desolation through the smoke is able to pick up Robbie Reyes. I do want to note for the side of James Bond boys, it seems Amped has forgotten to buy maybe a much weaker weapon on his side. No AKs.
He's investing. Don't worry.
He's investing in the future.
He's investing for exactly. He's buying Nvidia stocks, saving his money and saving his own life as Cubed as he backs his way out of the fire and the flames. This A hold for Storm Surge has been so strong. I think it's been one of the reasons why they've been able to stay in this game.
Oh, Doyle is hearing all of this, all of these footsteps. And with 2 changes back turned, that's the pick you need in this situation. Now, leaving Amp, WVZ, and Flomi in a 3v5 situation. Storm Surge have so much space. And if a player like Amps does fall to Doyle's pistol, that's not what you need. But Flomi answers right back with an op shot of his own. This read from Storm Surge is so incredibly nice. Having 3 players here sitting towards the site, there's not much that the James Bond boys can do. As Kanzi does find those 2 picks, and now onto match point for Storm Surge.
Well, not just yet. We have a little bit more to go before we can call this done and dusted. But the first lead of the game for Storm Surge. And it's been a long time coming. And I mean, you called it. That pick through arches, that had to be the one for Doyle. He's had a bit of a quiet game, 17 and 22. You haven't called his name as much, but impactful picks when they need it. And you can just tell that Storm Surge is playing with house money right now.
Oh, yeah. They have so much in the bank. Now, Amps does find that... Oh, Cubes, WBZ. This timing could be everything.
Pick here.
WBZ does find Kanzi, but the instant answer back is good. That timing was nearly absolutely disgusting for either team. If Cubed had swung any earlier and picked up that kill onto WBZ, you could be looking at a Storm Surge that's up a man instead of a more even game. Punisher and Doyle now onto this B site. But Amps, a little bit of a lurk here
this
towards
boost.
mid. That boost is
not gonna work out, but intel gathered. Amped, the only member left who is trying to find something out of these A players. Now he's going to try and make his way over to Bananas. The rest of the team fully stacked up, waiting for the smoke to dissipate. But as you know, sometimes Banana in this B-site can be utility simulator. That's really what we're seeing in a major flash coming through. And the James Bond boys, they execute onto the site. Robbie Reyes going to get this down, and This is going to be a very tough off to clear out, but Desolation finds it. Big hero moment from him, keeping Storm Surge in the game. 2v2, Cubed and Desolation, Amped and Robbie Reyes. And here we go. Time is ticking. Cubed using that frag to try and clear out. Dark is going to take some space onto the site. Amped left in the corner. Does find the pick. Cubed not able to get the second. Find ourselves tied once again in overtime.
Very nice turn and little hold from the side of James Bond Boys. They were able to get in very early, but Desolation, that shot, oh my goodness. Jumping across CT, seeing the player, and through the smoke, still finding that kill. That is definitely the kind of pick he needed. Unfortunately, not able to convert for the side of Storm Surge, but I know their spirits are looking a lot higher.
Yeah, I think that's just a tough one to take, right? But you still have some time. Both teams taking one round in overtime. That's unfortunately a very inopportune missed bullet from Desolation McConzie with a quick response, but James Bond Boys get very aggressive for this refrag, and they are turning up the heat right now. Cube gonna have to retreat, but he is just getting assaulted right now by all of this utility as they crash the site. Smoke out as well onto Library. Punisher and Doyle in a very tough situation for a retake, but it's gonna be Flomi who has to come all the way back.
Bomb still isn't planted
with the bomb.
Yeah, they're going B. This is a nice call from the James Bond Boys. Just knowing that Punisher is there, knowing more than one player is, and with Flomi lurking through, his timing is everything. No. James Bond Boys will be able to convert and take that round. Now,
yeah, that's a tough one to take because for Storm Surge, that CT side has been the strong one, and now you go back onto the attack, which has been a little weaker thus far, and the James Bond Boys, they're only 2 rounds away from taking this one. And for Storm Surge, I mean, we've seen what they've been able to do when they play from behind, and they need another big moment now. You have to steal at least 2 of these on the T side to try and force a second overtime.
Yeah, if Storm Surge are able to force a second overtime, not too sure how the James Bond Boys will be able to hold up. They have made so many misplays and moments that it seems Storm Surge, and with the comeback, were able to capitalize off of it. A little misplay, just noted. The flash unfortunately does miss, but Storm Surge reassess and are still able to lurk down Banana towards this B site. But here's Flomi on CT holding that pixel angle with the operator. These flashes need to be everything. Very diligent utility being thrown from everyone as Flomi is taken off of the line and through the smoke and Molly. Storm Surge are able to find those opening picks. And now this is how you want these rounds opened up. 2 chains is falling to Konzi as Amped nearly finds the pick. Wait, this re-swing from Konzi is bold. Almost finds it. But now in the 2v4.
There's no shot that Konzi gets out of there alive. I mean, I don't know how that happens, and this is going to force a save now from the James Bond Boys. I mean, I think it's bold to save in OT, but I mean, both teams finding themselves at 2 rounds apiece in overtime. Save rifles and utility as well for the James Bond Boys, but I think the most important thing is now Storm Surge, they find themselves able to match pace right now. Still in it, and like we said, you need to try and find at least one more to even think about forcing a potential second OT if needed, but obviously you want to try and go for the win here.
Yeah, Storm Surge, they definitely have their eyes on the prize in this type of situation. James Bond Boys opting not to buy the operator. It seems that they want to play a bit more scrappy on this defense. We could see a little bit of a mid fight coming through, maybe some more aggressive peaks or holds on this defensive side, but James Bond Boys need to find the answer to the Storm Surge attack. Once again, pushing through towards this B site, and Banana clearing out all these angles very diligently with the utility. James Bond boys, no rotates coming through yet. Yeah, they need to believe in WBZ and Flomi on towards this site by themselves, but with 4 members of Storm Surge here, it's going to be a very, very difficult hold as smokes and mollies are all flying through. Now, rotate is coming in for the James Bond boys, but everyone is kind of holding their space, holding their grounds. More utility being thrown, flashes, mollies, everything. Flomi now up on this boost, is full blinded as WBZ through the smoke. Blinded once again, but Desolation and Punisher are able to find those 2 for themselves. Now, spotting Amps here and towards CT. You have to molly it, leaving him down to 69 HP. Robbie Reyes is here, but the flank through their own spawn. Storm Surge, they need to play time. They need to just wait. They need to hold. Hold they do not as they swing, but 2 Chains answers right back with 2 picks of his own. Amps now left alone in the 1v2. Does not know about Kanzi. Punisher by himself towards the site is good for the shot. The Storm Surge pick up the 15.
They get to 15, and we find ourselves on the last round of OT. Big moment now for both of these teams. And you said it, I mean, you're just not expecting that lurk to come through Kanzi, and that's a great work from Kanzi just to keep the James Bond boys distracted.
Yeah.
You know, just holding their attention on this A site, letting the team just wait for the right moment, just use that util. The execution onto B was perfectly done. And again, we see once again why these sites are so difficult to retake if you're on the CT side. And we're asking for another big play to come through from Storm Surge once again. And we need it to happen now. It's going to be Doyle leading the way through apartments. A 3-stack coming up through apartments. This has been a tough take for Storm Surge. 2 picks for either side. 3v3 now. Robbie Reyes left by his lonesome on the A site. WBC Flomi in another postal code right now, but a big pick for this anchor. Cube dropping down, giving Storm Surge an opportunity to plant. It's going to be WBZ on his way through the library. Bomb is down now. Smoke is out. WBZ on the outside looking in. Cube holding this pit position. Flomi trying to make his way down short. Going to take space. More util going out. That Molly trying to clear out the back of the site. 1 pick going the way of Storm Surge, but not enough. James Bond boys, hold on. And we are going to overtime number 2.
It was such a close round. Unfortunately, being put in that corner with the bomb right at your feet. Amali is just too broken in that situation, being forced to move and kind of jump around and hope to get a pick and not be completely certain. Storm Surge do lose that round, unfortunately, yes, but they're still able to answer to everything that James Bond boys has been throwing at them.
Still in the fight, though, is Storm Surge, and they've been able to prove themselves. They've been able to prove it, and I was worried about their T side, but so far it's still
good.
looking fairly solid. You're going to stay on the T side now as we enter OT number 2. Again, we want to remind everybody, 4 wins in OT gets you the win. And that's what Storm Surge is looking for. Looking to get to that faded number 19 to try and steal this win away and keep your playoff hopes alive. It's been quite the ride so far. We're down for a bit, down by 4, have to claw their way back.
Nice.
And they are putting on quite the show right now in overtime. A completely wide open. They should be able to take this.
Very, very nice set play with the flash coming in through mid. Very, a little late, yes, but I love the delay from the side of Storm Surge. They're able to take that space and find 2 picks down towards
Nice
Apps
shot.
very nicely. Desolation, being the sole mid holder, is able to find a nice shot. Does not find the pick towards Amps. Now in the 2v3. Do James Bond boys have an answer for this retake? No, they do not. Storm Surge pick up their 16th round. Now closer and closer to that win they so desperately need.
And that was a really, really solid round
Oh, yeah.
for Storm Surge there. Just showing they're not just able to execute onto B perfectly, they can take A just as well. And that's a big double kill from Doyle to make that happen, to create that space.
Mm-hmm.
They find themselves in another good spot. They find themselves in the lead once again. So many lead changes in this game, especially late. It has been quite the match. Some absolute cinema for some Thursday night Counter-Strike.
That kind of rhymed. Thursday night Counter-Strike. I like that.
Thanks. Thank
I
you.
like that.
Definitely intentional, not accidental. Oh,
This
that's another
nade.
rhyme right there.
Oh.
That's another rhyme.
Amps does not decide to throw the nade. No flash is coming in, just slide swinging right into Amps. Desolation does get that trade from Punisher, but 2 chains, unfortunately, with your back turn, there's not too much you can do. Robbie Reyes, the sole sight holder, just trying to stay alive as long as possible. And if you get 2, that's especially where you want to put your team. And now for maybe the 5 millionth time this entire game, we're in a 2v2 with the bomb down on A.
And it seems like it's always WBZ who's in these.
Oh, yeah. Nearly every time, honestly, WBZ has been in these. Oh, Desolation, the hot feet are not what you want in that situation. 25 HP and 47, respectively, to the side of Storm Surge. As the retake does begin, Flomi does find... Ooh, I pick on to Konzi, but Desolation down the 1v2. The high-low is looking nice. As James Bond boys, they tie us up again.
Yeah, just an unfortunate situation. Losing your player under balcony, I think, is the kiss of death, unfortunately. And this is the last time we're going to see Storm Surge on this T side in overtime number 2. We'll get a replay on that. And Robbie Reyes, again, just being that guy. Finding 2 there. Big momentum shifter in that round, but still fighting our Storm Surge. And I think finding yourself another win on the T side and then going on to your stronger side definitely feel pretty good. Util going out top banana. Molly going to delay any potential lurkers as they creep up the site. Or they creep up the sight line, I should say. It's going to be Amp first point of contact. Going to be boosted up here as Punisher. Not going to be able to see a whole lot of potential swinger or re-peeker. It's Amped creeping his way towards CT and the Speedway. I think if you're Storm Surge, if only you knew, I think just a little bit more patience, you might be able to take this site and hold and stall out, rotate back in from Amped, but the execute onto the site has to be perfect. You'd have to find those 2 picks very, very quickly.
And now we see Storm Surge finally pulling the trigger, starting this site take, walking through a molly. It matters not to Doyle. Does note out Flomi's position, but does fall. WBZ now left alone, trying to 1v3 as these players are starting to come in towards the site. But if you get a pick through a smoke, it's definitely how you want to play it. Storm Surge, they are running, booking it towards that A site. And this is the correct read. Now it's a question of, will you be able to 2v4 against a James Bond team that has been looking very nice on the CT side?
It's going to be really hard. You have 1 piece of utility. You have 1 molly in Desolation's hands. And, I mean, all the util on the side of James Bond boys, I mean, you're really just going to have to do this via picks alone, and it's going to be a very tough ask for Konzi. I mean, he's been good for it in the past, but the smoke out will let James Bond boys try and push their way in. Konzi, good for 1, going to aggress for the second, not going to be able to find it. James Bond boys take 2 out of 3 to open OT number 2.
Oh, now James Bond boys, they are looking at their eyes on the prize. I was mentioning it for the side of Storm Surge, but James Bond boys put on this T side once again. They did look good on it, not as good as their CT obviously, but their T side was looking very solid. It's a matter of how Storm Surge want to play the map. Do they push up through mid a bit more? Honestly, I wouldn't be upset if Storm Surge push up mid, maybe set up Desolation with that operator down towards Banana. But it's just a matter of how the round works, I guess.
How it will work is the question. And look at this. The
That's
James Bond Boys
insane.
just absolutely running it down Banana right now. No fear being shown, but they should fear Punisher and Doyle holding this site. More utility going out. The reload, worst time to do it. It's Doyle getting caught out by Amped. Punisher outside looking in from that smoke, giving the James Bond Boys a chance to get this plant down. Util coming through from Cubed. A lot of utility on the side of Storm Surge. They can play this however they want to. You do have the op as well for Desolation, but these flashes potentially be very devastating. Cubed good for 2. Gonna swing out to try and find another one. The Molly will do the work for him. Desolation gets us tied once again.
Mollies or not, doesn't matter. If you got a cubed on your side, kills 1, and even while half blind, finds the second pick. And I do want to note also, Desolation on the flank played very, very patiently and just waited, kind of setting supporting utility for his team to start that retake. But Doyle with the 2 opening picks is what really set the tone and made me think that Storm Surge were going to win this round.
Yeah, I think it's just the aggression for the James Bond Boys. I think just came back to bite them a little bit because, like you said, those 2 picks, it doesn't get any easier than that. And this is a map where if you lose 2 players right off the rip, these executes become that much harder. I mean, they did almost win, yes, but I think that is just a credit to the skill on this team, and we're seeing it on display again. It's been WBZ's game so far. I mean, he's been that guy for his team, but Kanzi nestling himself into the long corner. I don't think 2 Chainz is going to clear this.
Behind you go. Oh, that timing. Oh, they just passed each other.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, but it does my WBZ though, I guess.
Nice little consolation kill, but
hopefully that won't come back to haunt them.
With someone in your spawn and you just being none the wiser.
I think he preemptively turned expecting a flash to come through, but
yeah, a timing could not have been more disgusting. It looks like Kanzi is aware that someone could be coming from this angle. Let's see if it's let go of again, and I may or may not have just cast a curse because 2 Chainz finds the 2 onto Kanzi and Cubed respectively, now giving the James Bond Boys a relatively free A site. Doyle and Punisher, the lone players left standing for the side of Storm Surge. They need to try and make something happen, but with not too much utility in their belt, and 1 player pushing.
Oh, no way. Not again.
Again, the timing through the smoke. Amps. Oh, it's just barely unblinded first. Doyle half blind. Does find the trade, but left down to 65 HP. There's not too much you can do, especially with the Floamy operator staring daggers right at you. Does let go of the angle, yes, but Robbie Reyes and 2 Chainz are right there, ready for basically anything, and with the bomb ticking down ever so closer to exploding, you have to hurry. And unfortunately, it's not in Doyle's favor as the James Bond Boys pick up their 18th.
I mean, what can you say about that? I mean, that's just bad luck.
Yeah,
right there. That's just bad luck and bad timing. That just doesn't benefit Storm Surge. And I had said, like, hopefully 2 Chainz going unchecked wouldn't come back to haunt them. And unfortunately, that caster curse a little too strong there.
Yeah, no, I got to apologize formally to
man.
Storm Surge for that one. With the final timeout of the game being used for the side of Storm Surge, they need to reassess, they need to reevaluate their plan, talk to each other and to their coach, try once more to maybe bring us to a triple overtime.
I mean, that's going to be how you extend this game. I mean, if the James Bond Boys win here, that is going to be it. So it's now or never. And I think that's why Storm Surge is taking the timeout here, because you want to make sure everyone knows what they're doing. It doesn't get any more critical than right now, especially when you've clawed your way back into this game. You want to try and at least find something out of it. Util raining down top Banana as the James Bond Boys in between 2 sets of Molotovs. Another one getting set out to try and clear out sandbags. Nobody home, though, from Storm Surge. They're playing very far back in the site as Punisher taking the CT long position. And look at Kanzi now, setting up this lurk, this long lurk through the back alley. This doesn't go uncleared, This delayed execute and delayed push from Storm Surge might come back to bite them, but WBZ in Apartments might have put the finishing touches on this marathon of a game for the James Bond boys. Desolation not able to re-peak with the op. All going to be left up to Kanzi, who's all the way far back. Bomb goes down.
Oh, these footsteps are going to be noted.
Oh my goodness.
The 1v5, it's looking so impossible for Kanzi. He has to throw every single piece of util. Just trying to do anything. But with 5 players from the side of James Bond boys staring at you, there's not too much you can do. Storm Surge, they have fought, they have tried this entire tournament. Unfortunately, the James Bond boys were there to stop them as they do pick up the win, 19-17, double overtime. That's the match.
That is the match indeed, and what a match it was. I mean, all things considered, unfortunately not going the way we wanted it to. Storm Surge not able to get it done, but a hell of an effort shown by the team, fighting tooth and nail to get back into this one. And I mean, all things considered, you know, that is at least something to take home, but this one does sting, unfortunately. I mean, I think that's the only real way to say it, but at the end of the day, that's just how it goes sometimes. And yeah, do want to say thank you to the players as well, and thank you to all the production staff. Wyatt, Swag Studios, Rapson directing tonight. We got Hayden King on the replay tonight. First time on the replay. Good job, buddy.
Very well played.
Did get a couple good ones in there. Carl was there as well, observing.
Miguel
Marcial
well
on the sticks. Yeah, Miguel Hayes on the free cam. A lot of good free cams, Miguel.
Yeah.
Really liked what I saw tonight, and thank you, UG, for joining me on the cast tonight. Thank you to the players as well for showing up to the server and giving us a great game tonight. And of course, before we go, we want to thank our sponsors. Thank you to Storm Surge for letting us partner with you for this ESEA main season. Thank you to Counter-Strat as well for being our main source of intelligence for these games. And thank you to Third Sight as well for being our latest partner. Thank you very much to all our sponsors. And thank you, dear viewer, for sticking around through this war of attrition on Inferno. You guys are the real MVPs. We will be back next week as Storm Surge continues to finish out this ESE main season. We hope to see you there. But for now, have a great night.
For a storm coming, or having a sun in the morning. I don't want to but I gotta be with what I call mine. it's in my memory. No more waiting for a sign now. It's time for me to leave. As the world closes on the door of what we came to be, I regret nothing. I can set my mind free. I know you too well. I'm up on the roof and yeah, learned all that I know, and we put on quite a show. And I'd be lying if I said I'm coming back. I just wanna go, I wanna walk away. Never wanted to love you anyway. Guess I should've known, won't pick up the phone. Go on and watch me fade. When you see the lights